Hi, my name is Ashley Fitzinger, and I wanted to start off by giving a little background of the simulation website. The page you are looking at right now is called the Dashboard Overview. It shows the market share, segment share, profit margin, quarterly revenue, average prices, unit sales, and spending on features. The Net Prices tab shows you the prices that customers in each segment pay each quarter. The Customers Purchase tab shows graphs telling us how much of the product was purchased by each segment. The Sales tab shows the total sales and the dollar amount that was spent. The Income Statement tab shows the income statement for each quarter of the simulation. Market Research shows how we compare to the competitors with research. Product Performance tab shows the performance of our product compared to the competitor product. The Customer Satisfaction tab allows us to listen to reviews from each customer segment and what they hope to get from our product. Finally, the Salesforce report shows how much time our sales force spends with each segment. Within this simulation, our goal was for us to play the role of the new Minnesota Micro Motors CEO and to reach a cumulative profit of $8 million. For this specific run, I obtained a cumulative profit of $8.6 million, as you can see in the income statement. My marketing strategy was to focus on customer satisfaction. My strategy was to listen to each customer segment and figure out what they wanted or needed to continue being a customer. And by listening to their reviews is how I decided what needed to be changed within the Decide tab. I also focused on the income statement. I paid close attention to my expenses and revenues to obtain the highest amount of profit. Within the customer needs analysis, I used what was said in each customer segment review and applied what they wanted or did not want to the decisions I made for Minnesota Micro Motors. For example, segment A is a loyal customer who is very interested in power to size ratio motors and is not price sensitive. So for segment A, I gave them a low discount percent but increased the amount of companies spending to improve the power to size motors. For segment B, they were interested in thermal motors. They did not need a very high discount percent. For segment B, I dramatically increased the amount of spending on the thermal motors and gave them a discount of 2%. As for segment C, they wanted both types of motors, power to size and thermal resistance. They are a new market and are not price sensitive. So for this segment, I decided not to give them a discount, but I increased the amount that Minnesota Micro Motors spent on enhancing both thermal and power to size motors. For segment D, their biggest concern was price. So in order to keep them a loyal customer, I gave them the largest discount we could, which was 20%. The next thing I needed to understand to make a logical decision was the relationship between segmentation, targeting, and the position of Minnesota Micro Motors to help create a balance. Marketing segmentation is a marketing strategy which involves dividing a broad target market into subcategories of consumers who are perceived to have common needs, interests, and priorities, and then designing and implementing strategies to target them. This is expressed in the different customer segmentations as you see here. They all have different needs, but their needs are in common. After segmenting the market based on different customers, you will need to choose your target. No one strategy will suit all customer groups, so being able to develop specific strategies for your target market is very important. This is implemented by the simulation by listening to all of the customer reviews, as we saw in the customer satisfaction tab. Effective positioning involves a good understanding of the competitor product and the benefits that are sought by your target market. It also requires you to identify a differential advantage with which will deliver the required benefits to the market effectively against the competition. For positioning, I, as a CEO, tried to keep up with the competitors' thermal products at a competitive rate. As you will see in the Product Performance tab, the main reason for doing this was to keep a competitive edge and to satisfy customer segment B's needs of thermal resistance. As for the price of motors, I primarily kept it the same throughout the entire simulation. Except for towards the end, I increased the price by a little. My reasoning for keeping the price the same was because when I started increasing the price, the number of customers who purchased the motors went down substantially. As you can see, in small customers, towards the end when I increased the prices, their buying went or decreased. So for me, keeping a stable price of $143 with individual segment discounts was the best option for Minnesota marketing micromotors. One challenge I came across while completing the simulation was with managing channel conflict while maintaining consistency across channels. This occurred with segment D, the price-sensitive segment. After giving them the highest discount I could offer, they still wanted a larger discount, but I could not increase the percent. So ultimately, what I had to decide was either to stay consistent with my price and continue making all of the other segments happy, but disappointing segment D a little, or to lower the price and allowing the profit of the company to suffer, but satisfying the needs of segment D. In the end, I decided to go down the path of keeping my costs stable and disappointing segment D. This caused a decrease in sales from the particular segment, but kept the profits high, ultimately being the best decision. As you can see, when I raised the price, the buying habits of segment D went down, but then stayed at a plateau. By observing the marketing and financial metrics, including marketing and segment share, revenue, unit sales, profit margin, spending on features, customer satisfaction, and the Salesforce report, they help analyze performance within the overall company in many ways. One way being by looking at the income statement, you can see the account information such as how much is being spent with compared to how much the company is making. Another thing that is important to look at is the spending on product features. The Product Performance tab shows how much is being spent by the company to help enhance the product you are making more desirable to the customers. Like I stated previously, customer satisfaction is very important because of the main reason of producing the product is to fulfill the needs of a customer, and the only way to learn exactly what the customer wants or needs is by listening to the reviews of your product. All of the elements within the marketing and financial metric feeds off each other and help create a way of looking at how your company's performance is being successful or failing. It also gives you a good indication of what your next step for the company should be. For example, when I was playing the role of the CEO, looking at the Product Performance tab, I saw how our products were being compared to other products that our competitors were making, and that helped me make my decision for the next quarter based on this chart and the mixture of all of the other elements I just talked about. Appreciating the relationships among customer satisfaction, customer buying patterns, and customer loyalty, and firm profitability helped me set decisions for long-term goals of Minnesota Micromotors. Like I said throughout the whole video, that customer satisfaction is key to a successful business. By looking at the customer satisfaction, it allows you to know what the customer wants and needs and how you can convert your product to something that the customer desires. I did this through listening to the customer reviews and challenging the amount I spent as the CEO on certain things. Customer buying patterns are also very important. This allows you to see the patterns in which the customers are buying your product. This also allows you to know how much of your products are being bought. Customer loyalty is one of the most important aspects, as you can reward those loyal customers with discounts or better sale representation as they remain loyal to your company. As for firm profitability, this comes along with keeping your customers happy. As long as the products you are selling and have a demand within your target market, then your firm should be making a large amount of profit. As shown here in the income statement. Overall, the Harvard Business Simulation is a good tool to get your foot in the door and sort of get an inside look of what all goes on into the marketing strategies, marketing decisions to produce a profit. The design of the simulation is easy to use, but confusing when you're first starting out. One thing I would recommend to Harvard Business School designers is to have a key to what each tab is or could be used for to make the simulation more user-friendly. Overall, I learned a lot from taking part of these simulations and hope to continue to learn from the mistakes I've made throughout this process.